Thank you for being here at Mr. Super Oz. This video is going out, and this channel only exists because I, Oz, founded Gamble Comics, which first release was Everlasting Survivors, a 68-page graphic novel called All Day Long. Available now. Follow the link in the description that will take you to gamblecomics.com. While there, you can get hats, shirts, posters, much more, but most importantly, the story itself. Coming soon from Gamble Comics, BC Brute. Whew. Josiah, thank you for joining me for this WWE Studio Slam. I feel like it's been a while.
It has.
Can you remember what the last WWE movie we watched was?
I want to say The Last Marine, but I feel like that's not right.
So if it wasn't the Marine,
what
would it have been?
I don't. What was the last holiday before this one? Because I know you like doing holiday themed studio slams.
I don't know if they have. Yeah, I don't think they got nothing.
Like, I'm trying to think. Was there an Independence Day one that's not coming to me?
No, but that'd be funny.
That'd be
I wouldn't put it past them at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last 4th of July themed movie I did was Independence Day.
Oh yeah.
All or Nothing.
Yep.
So, spoiler: they did not live because the second one was
everybody died.
Yeah, the second one was bad enough to kill the first, even though I thought the first one was top quality stuff.
Great movie.
But speaking of movies that follow other movies, I was surprised that Larry the Cable Guy in 2014 was able to let me double check that. Yeah, 2014 was able to deliver a quality, and it's not even retelling, a quality other story in the genre of Jingle All the Way, because that's one of the things I was afraid of upon going in, is that we're just going to get the same movie all over again.
Yeah, and it was a reasonable fear.
Yeah, and thankfully there were a not insignificant number of differences. The parents not being together being chief among them.
I'm about to say that one stood out for me too.
Yeah, as soon as I realized that Larry and his wife were no longer together, and introducing the added wrinkle of the new stepfather, I was like, oh man, this is going to be totally different, because something I thoroughly appreciated about the first movie was the wife's ability to stand up for both herself and her marriage against that neighbor who was feeling like, to me, he was trying to get with everybody on the block.
A little bit. He did have that Reverend from Friday vibe to him.
Oh, I've never seen that movie.
Oh, you've never seen Friday?
Yeah, franchise, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, it has been talked about. I was going to say, it has been talked about as to be an all or nothing at some point, because Brandon made an entire list of things that I had never seen before that, in some cases, he thought I wouldn't like. No Country for Old Men was on it, and in other cases, he was like, oh, you'll probably like this.
Yeah.
Because, as we both know, he's got it pretty good.
He's got a good eye for film.
Well, he also knows my taste.
Yes.
And so that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
But,
shit, I didn't know you never saw Friday, though. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Like, I've seen the memes, obviously.
Stand out. I don't think you can go through life without seeing the memes, to be fair.
Yeah.
Some of those things are just, it'll be thrown in your face.
Absolutely. They're kind of so out there, it's almost like The Office, something I hadn't seen for a long time. Yeah, forever. And then you see things about it.
And then, like, you feel like you've seen the show.
Exactly.
Like, well, I've never seen this movie, but I've seen, like, 40 scenes from this movie. So, yeah. I've pretty much seen the movie.
I like it. But, yeah, like I said, there were a lot of differences in kind from last week's Jingle All the Way and this movie. But one thing that really stayed consistent is the father's love for the child, and how that being willing to go above and beyond to make a good Christmas. Yes. And although I actually think Larry might be a tad more attentive than Arnold was, he was he was pretty occupied with that there occupation.
For sure. But yeah, I do think that that's kind of like the soul of the movie is little Larry's goal of making sure that this kid has a happy Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know the gimmick.
Yeah, exactly.
But just like, cause like it's kind of like the whole point of like movies is like to vicariously put yourself in that place, and anyone who's a parent.
Yeah.
Which I'm not.
Of course, me neither.
But if
I'll say this, cause like I was just watching Papa's House, starring Damon Wayans and Damon Wayans.
I'm about to say it. Guaranteed it.
That's what I feel.
If you want money, put a Wayans brother in there thing. It doesn't matter what it is. Guaranteed money.
But yeah, what I was gonna say is when I was watching that show, again, I don't have kids, but seeing how Damon Wayans Jr. is in the show with his, fake family.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh man, you hit me in the, the love device there. Yeah.
Shoot, got me in the soul I didn't know I had.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Sure. I'm a big fan of that. Like you said, living vicariously through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the great thing about like movies and shows like this is it teaches me a lot about myself because I'm not in these situations either yet or ever.
Sure.
Depending on what's going on, but like it lets me know how I feel about those situations.
Absolutely.
Which is.
What I think
feel
that's
like better than living it.
Well, I was gonna say it's just nice to have that heads up when it comes to just life in general.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, and this is totally off topic, but sometimes you don't have the choice. You learn things the hard way, but
very true.
But it's nice when you can be like, oh, maybe things can be nice and smooth and good.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. But here's a funny takeaway about the movie in and of itself. I had never watched Dwayne Johnson or The Rock's Tooth Fairy movie. I felt like I was past the point of it being for me when it came out.
Yeah, did that come out in 2004? Am I remembering that?
I don't know. Whatever year it came out, I was like, no, I'm over it.
He said, this is not for me.
I don't need no Tooth Fairy business in my life.
That's great.
And so I didn't watch it, obviously.
Right.
But seeing Larry be so noble and forthright, a stand-up guy, a person who cares, really gave me the renewed interest, the original interest to potentially watch Tooth Fairy and Tooth Fairy 2 starring Larry the Cable Guy.
Wow.
Because it's funny, because like obviously we like The Rock. I think Dwayne's a
excellent.
My goodness, like I know that this is an unpopular opinion, but I thought
in the modern day,
Rocky Maivia was interesting. I thought he had a unique look. The hair was different.
I can't confirm the hair was different.
Like just everything about him, and part of it was because he was debuting as. Now, granted, he wasn't Dwayne Johnson, which he probably should have been, but he was debuting as a regular human in an era when Barry Windham isn't allowed to be Barry Windham. He's got to be the Stalker, which is a terrible name when he's really just the Hunter, because he wore camo face paint and camo pants.
Yeah.
He's debuting with Wild Man Mark Marrow, debuting with Gold Dust. All these
Gold Dust worked, but yes, I get.
Sure. But what I'm saying, like when the Blue Chipper is coming out and he's just a great athlete.
He's just, oh my God, it's a regular human being.
Everybody around him's something else.
Yeah.
It was like, well, to me, he stood out in that way. So.
To be fair, I never got to formulate an opinion on Rocky Maivia because, well, obviously I wasn't alive.
Yeah, exactly.
But even, like, when I was born, he was already The Rock.
Exactly, yeah. Well, and it's different when you are first introduced to Dwayne in that way, I feel like.
Yeah,
so
definitely changes perspective because like you compare The Rock to Rocky Maivia, I'm like, well, I can see why he went from one to the other.
Oh yeah. And don't get me wrong, I understand and fully acknowledge The Rock is the superior of the two. I just didn't feel as though Rocky Maivia was
as bad as everyone
as
made
the
him out
crowd
to be.
treated him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I never understood the like visceral hate for the guy.
Yeah.
Like, because there was nothing he did that made me go, man, I despise this guy. The only thing I can compare it to is like Roman Reigns 20.
Actually,
push.
do you know what I think is a better example?
What?
Jason Jordan. You remember when he was getting pushed as Kurt Angle's son?
I hated him right now.
That's the Rocky Maivia effect.
Okay.
Except I think they were doing it intentionally for Jason Jordan.
Right. No, the Rocky Maivia just happened to work out.
Yeah, I think they were intentionally trying to give Jordan the Maivia push, if you will, or whatever you want to call it when it's an anti-push.
Yeah. About to say they're pushing him without pushing him.
Yeah. But yeah, that's to me the perfect example.
That's excellent. Okay, that makes so much more sense now.
Sorry,
I just had a...
It's okay. No. It's just, I know it's off topic from the movie.
Yeah, it's
but, like I said, Larry, his delivery, his personality, and I even enjoy how his ex doesn't despise him. So often you'll have people who are no longer together treat one another very poorly. Oh my goodness, such a great way of saying it.
Yeah, 1000%.
And she, while she knew that they weren't right for one another,
I'm about to say.
She knew that he was still good for their daughter, and I was just like, man, that's quality stuff.
And also, that's human. Like I get.
Well, and here's the way I look at it, right?
Yeah.
So, there are people in my life, in multiple ways, but whether it be relationship or not, just because we're not presently together doesn't mean I wish ill upon you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the correct way of
living.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so
I agree. Like there's like I'm still like pretty good friends with like some of my exes.
Sure.
Not all of them, but
of course, yeah.
Like some burgers.
But again, here's the thing: you don't have to be friends to not wish them ill.
Yeah, exactly. I wish the best for all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I just think that's
killing it in life.
Yeah.
Whatever they may be doing.
Right. But yeah, no, I honestly think this is a good movie.
Oh yeah. No, so I enjoyed the movie. I like I said, the fact that you said this Larry Davis's performance was so good, I got to go watch Tooth Fairy. I feel like sums up how good his performance was.
Speaking of performances though, we cannot stop talking about this movie until we talk about Santino Marella. Oh my goodness. So Santino Marella is a wrestling character I could not stand. Like
I loved him.
Of course, but that's the difference in age and perspective too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I think that you were watching in a time that it was perfect.
Yep, 2009. Yeah, that was prime time.
And yeah, exactly. Yeah, 10's the right age for his over the top antics. Well, and it also bothered me that I knew he was basically Miro in OVW.
Did not know that.
Yeah, so he was basically a killer in OVW, and then he comes up to the man. Oh, he wasn't Santino though. He was a Russian. He was a Russian.
He literally had Miro's gimmick.
He was Miro.
He was Rusev.
Yeah, he was Rusev. Exactly. Yeah,
he was the Rusev prototype.
Yeah, yes. And so
I can't see it.
And so,
well, actually, that's a lie. I know.
Yeah, he trains MMA.
Yeah, I'm about to say I know what he does now,
exactly.
And I'm like, yeah, I can totally see that guy doing it. But it's not. Oh man.
But yeah, that was my disconnect.
But the guy that just walks in and goes, John Cena.
Yeah, exactly. And so imagine, if you will, who today is a top killer in your eyes?
Top killer John Moxley.
Yeah. Now imagine, if you will, he comes in, puts on an accent, and then he has a sock puppet for.
I see your
finish.
point.
I'm like,
I do see your point.
It's not my thing.
Actually, that is what Dean Ambrose was.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. It really was.
Actually, it's not that hard for me to imagine that.
But my point is, Santino in this movie doesn't put on an accent, and he just speaks with his regular human voice.
I'm about to say he just talks.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it was like, huh. He felt so natural.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I'm so used to him being so unnatural.
So for the longest time, I did genuinely think he was Italian.
Oh, okay.
Because, mean, I didn't know any better.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is he's Canadian, but he's playing
Yeah, which
Russian.
makes it so much funnier.
He was Russian when I thought, oh man, this guy's gonna be great.
Wrestling doesn't matter where you're from; it just matters where we tell you you're from.
Exactly.
But yeah, no. So like, because for the longest time, I genuinely thought he was Italian, and then like I heard him talk, and like I think it was just like I think it was a Chris Van Fleet interview. Or something,
Sure.
Which awesome interviews he has.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Absolutely excellent. But like I was listening to him talk. I'm like, oh, not only is he not Italian, he sounds very, very Canadian.
Yes.
Like, and you can hear it in his voice, but just like the juxtaposition, I'm like, is this the same guy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like he has like an evil twin I didn't know about.
Yeah. So since you're here,
Yeah,
and it's on my mind, and you talked about Santino and his differences, right?
Yeah.
I think it was last Friday, I dropped a Starcade 92 review.
Yeah.
And in that video, I say how the Ravishing Rick Rude could have easily have been cast in the role of the total package.
Mm-hmm.
Great promo, great look, great wrestler, total package.
I can see that.
So with that, and us talking about Santino, I was like, when we reach 100 trivia questions for the wrestling trivia, I'm going to let it fade out and
try something new.
Actually, I think this is the first time I've said this to you, so we'll find out if you're cool with it.
Okay.
In my mind, it's not going to fade out and go away forever. It'll just transition into an every few months trivia.
Okay.
Where Carrie will ask you and I the wrestling questions, and whoever gets the answer first, we'll keep track, figure out who wins at the end.
I'm actually cool with that.
Oh, that's what's up. Appreciate it.
Sounds fun.
Awesome. I thought you'd be down.
Yeah, I'm about to say, let's test our wrestling knowledge.
Exactly. Well, and it all depends on which color or which style of card we get.
Yeah,
if it's closer to your era.
I'm about to say, if it's the 2000 and up, I think I got you.
Exactly.
However, if it's the 90s down, you probably will get it.
Exactly. But so when the trivia transitions from a short to a long form video, I'm not going to stop doing shorts. I'm just going to do different short styles.
Change it up.
And so one of the ideas I have is the idea of gifting characters gimmicks to new wrestlers, and like that Ravishing Rick Rude being the total package idea. And so now I'm going to try and come up with a character to give Santino to not be the goofy Santino.
Yeah, the Milan Miracle.
Yeah, the Milan Miracle. Yeah, exactly.
I wonder what. I can't wait until we do this. I'm actually curious.
Oh, it's gonna be fun, I think.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of what else he would be good at because he.
I ain't got one yet.
Yeah, I know you hate it, but he plays the role very well.
Oh, he did. Don't get me wrong. I can appreciate it when removed from the moment.
Yes.
Because now years later, I can be like, I get where you're coming from. You did a good job.
Yes.
I
mean, shoot, the character was so good. He's doing it in TNA right now.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. So I'm not in that same headspace.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that when it was live, I was just on
when
my
he was beating Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, that was a big no. It was a big no.
Probably not it. Was it Bobby Lashley or Umaga was there?
Bobby helped him beat Umaga when he got pulled out of the crowd.
I was about to say, I remember one of the two.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so like I said, shock of all shocks, I actually recommend watching Jingle All the Way 2 on Disney Plus. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Not that there was anything that I particularly thought was wrong. It was just like it
wasn't the greatest movie
when you
ever
get
saw.
to those 5 and above. I'm just like you gotta blow me away. Whereas all this really did was surprise me.
Yes, I think that's fair. I also gave it a 4. I thought it was it was a fun movie. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed everyone's performance. Like he said, Larry David's just awesome.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped it. But yeah, it wasn't. This isn't the greatest Christmas movie I've ever seen in my life or anything, but it was a fun watch, and I didn't regret the. How long was the movie? Hour?
It was only, I think it 1 hour and 31 minutes.
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
it was.
So
Tight.
it wasn't even as long as I thought it was.
It was a tight, 90 minutes.
About to say nice and easy 90.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. It was a good movie. I highly recommend it.
I appreciate you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And before we head out, I want to say up next for the WWE Studio Slam, Condemned, and then Condemned 2 starring Randy Orton.
Not gonna lie, I completely forgot those movies existed.
Yeah, oh, have you watched the first one?
I've seen.
Yeah, Steve Austin's one, the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
So that's the only one I've seen. I haven't watched the second one yet.
So we'll see.
But
how Randall
as you
Keith
know
does.
from the channel, I like doing the WWE Studio Slams in order. So the Marines and 12 rounds and all the yada yada. So
Yeah.
I figured why not.
Yeah, works for me.
Sweet.
Can't wait to watch.
Yeah.
Take care.